And welcome to Onondaga Community College Field. I'm Dave Shannon on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network, getting you ready for tonight's game between the Onondaga Flames and the Jamestown Jammers. Jammers, with a win last night, get a game up in the PGCBL West over the Geneva Red Wings. The record for the Jammers now at 16-5, and we've won 2 in a row, 7-3 in our last 10. Geneva has played 2 more games. They have 2 in hand. They're 16-7, and they're a game back. They just lost last night. And the final score there, Newark 4 and Geneva 3. And the Onondaga Flames in third place with a record of 12-8. We have a game in hand against them, and we're 3.5 games up on the Flames. Jamestown Jammers coming into the game with a .295 team batting average. Also, the pitching staff doing very well at 2.50 ERA. And the fielding is hanging in there at .957. We're slowly climbing back up. And we will talk about that and other things coming up. But first, we're going to get to meet the assistant coach and pitching coach for the Jamestown Jammers, Hayden Carter. We'll talk to Hayden next, right here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Pennswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Pennswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Pennswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Pennswood.net Classifieds has it. Pennswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the first woman is now in space.
Military stereotypes are challenged today with the trailblazing promotion of a U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
We're here with the pitching coach of the Jamestown Jammers and right-hand man to Anthony Barone, and that would be Hayden Carter. Hayden, welcome back. It's good to see you back this year. I know you really helped the pitching staff out last year and had a lot to do with that. But before we get into all of that, talk about your time at Cal State Bakersfield. That's an impressive career that you had there.
Yeah, I mean, it was all capped off with a regional appearance after my senior year. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a great experience. I loved everything about my time at Bakersfield. It's where I met Coach Barone, met a lot of the teammates that I still keep up with on a daily basis. But yeah, we got to play at a lot of cool places. It's a long list of places that we got to travel to. A lot of places that I wouldn't have traveled to without baseball. But yeah, the town was great. They supported us a lot over the course of my 4 years. And yeah, I couldn't say it enough that I loved my time at Bakersfield.
Now, I understand that Cal State Bakersfield wasn't your first choice.
No. Didn't really get recruited a lot out of high school. I think there were like a handful of D1 teams that looked at me but didn't really show serious interest. I was set to go to a junior college from where I was from, and then a couple weeks before classes started, Bakersfield called me up. I didn't even know there was a program there, let alone a D1 program. So it was exciting to get recruited heavily by a Division I program, and I made the decision about 2 days before classes started at the junior college I was set to attend. So it was one of the better decisions I've made in my life, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, well, you certainly helped to put them on the map during your 4 years there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't like to brag, but it was fun just to get the school's first Division I NCAA tournament win. That was the last appearance I made as a baseball player. So yeah, it capped off a good 4 years I was there. But yeah, it was fun there.
Now, how has your experience there at Cal State Bakersfield and your other coaching helped you coming here to Jamestown and helping these guys out in the PGCBL?
Yeah, I think my old coach, Coach Kernan, he never really talked with me about mechanics or the physical aspect of baseball. I definitely matured over my 4 years there, but I think I just learned how to become a better competitor out there. I'm not really the biggest guy in terms of size or velocity or stuff like that, but I learned how to become a competitor and just keep pitching simple. I think a lot of guys tend to overthink while they're out there in terms of like pitch selection, location, mechanics, stuff like that. So I think I've been able to make pitching simple for a couple of guys since I've been here and since I've started coaching, and I think that's a key with pitching, just because, I mean, when guys start thinking about a ton of different things, that's when they lose focus of what's truly important. So I think just over the course of my 4-year career at Bakersfield, I learned how to become a competitor and focus on the stuff that mattered rather than worry about all the nonsense in terms of like velocity and mechanics and stuff like that. So
details that don't really matter.
Yeah, they do matter. I mean,
yeah,
you can work on them during practice, but I think once you get into a game environment, just worrying about stuff you can control and keeping the game simple. Just because, I mean, a lot can happen during the game, so just keeping things in your control and keeping stuff simple, I think that helps a pitcher out a lot.
All right. Now, we will get back to Hayden Carter tomorrow night. We'll play the full interview with him, as this is not 7 o'clock. It is not 7:05. It is 6:56. So here we go. Let's meet the Jamestown Jammers starting lineup for tonight's game. Leading off, designated hitter number 17, Chris Conley, batting second, third baseman number 16. Chris Estrada hitting third, first baseman number 30, Ben Brookover. In the cleanup spot, right fielder number 9, 2-home run guy last night, Colin Stack. Hitting fifth, the catcher number 22, Connor Rule. Batting sixth, left fielder number 29, Jimmy Standahar. Batting seventh, shortstop number 20, Ryan Markey. Batting eighth, second baseman number 13, Nick Burnick. And batting ninth and playing center field, John Conti. First pitch to Conley was inside low for a ball, and the next one hits in the turf at the plate. Once again, it's a beautiful facility Onondaga Community College has built here, and it's an all-turf field. The only dirt on that field is the pitching mound. That pitch is right in there, and the count now 2-1 on Chris Conley. Jammers play here tonight and then take off for Newark as we take on the Pilots in a doubleheader coming up tomorrow night, 5 o'clock or thereabouts airtime, as none of this gets to be too official. Next pitch to Conley, missed for ball 3. Count now 3-1 on the left-handed hitting DH Chris Conley in the pitch. Inside low, ball 4. Conley draws a leadoff walk to start things off for the Jammers in their half of the first, and that'll bring up third baseman number 16, Chris Estrada. Let's meet the Flames. In the outfield, Kyle Gallagher in left, Anthony Scalzo in center, Sam Little in right, Stephen Bennett down at third, Wyatt Myers at short, Alex Canty is at second, Trey Bauer down at first, and Adam Gallagher behind the plate catching Emmett Dunn. And his first pitch to Chris Estrada right down the pipe, taken by Chris, and strike one called. Jammers last night in a somewhat unbelievable game, 19-5. Grand slam home run by Ben Brookover, as I mentioned earlier, a couple of home runs by Colin Stack as well in the game. That pitch is in the turf behind home plate, and the count is even at 1 strike on Chris Estrada. Onondaga Flames in their home whites with the Flames logo on the front and also their numbers in red on the back. Jammers in their pinstripe pants with the road navy tops. Jamestown Jammers in script across the front in that neon green trimmed in white, and the numbers on the backs of the uniforms are in white and trimmed in that neon green. Ground ball down to third baseman Stephen Bennett to Alex Canty for one over to first. It's a double play. Nice turn, Bennett to Canty to Bauer, and that is a double play. They get Conley at second as well, and 2 out, nobody aboard. Stephen Bennett, that was a little bit to the shortstop side of where he was playing down at third. Made a little bit of a move over to his left and was able to catch the ball, and a good toss to his second baseman, and then on to first, and absolutely clean double play stuff for the Onondaga Flames. 2 out, and Ben Brookover at the plate. Ben hit the grand slam last night in the game against the Adirondack Trailblazers. After the game, I said, "You were trying to hit that out the right." And, "Oh, no, I was just trying to, swing away." And I said, "No, you were trying to." And then I realized he was just clowning around with me, and yes, indeed, he was trying to hit one out the right, and he did the right center. So, yeah, quite a shot off the bat of Ben Brookover last night against Adirondack. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Ben, and that pitch is in there from Emmett Dunn, strike 2. 1-2 the count to Ben Brookover. Nobody aboard, 2 out. We're in the top of the first, just underway at Onondaga. That pitch is fouled off over into the trees that are on the edge of the property where the community college field is here. Count remains 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody aboard and 2 out. 1-2 pitch. Oh, that was a bit of a high breaking pitch that apparently for the home plate umpire got down across the strike zone in time. Ben Brookover, a called third strike victim here in the top half of the first inning. No runs, no hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. The score at the end of 1/2 inning, Jammers nothing, Flames coming to bat. You're listening to the Jammers on the Jammers Baseball Network. We will be back right after this commercial timeout.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone.
Okay, think. Where'd you have them last?
I was home, then I spent them on that vacation in this tiny suit of armor. Now they're gone.
Weird.
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Oh, I broke his little gauntlet.
Oh no.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Onondaga Community College Field. I'm Dave Shannon on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. Here's the starting lineup for the Onondaga Flames tonight. Leading off, center fielder number 26, Anthony Scalzo. Batting second baseman number 21, Alex Canty. Hitting third, first baseman number 24, Trey Bauer. In the cleanup spot, designated hitter number 30, Gage Lanning. Batting fifth, left fielder number 27, Kyle Gallagher. Hitting sixth, right fielder number 9, Sam Little. Batting in the 7 hole, it's the catcher, number 5, Adam Gallagher. Batting 8, shortstop, number 7, Wyatt Myers. And batting 9th and playing third base. Started out that nice double play for the Flames in the Jammers half of the first. That'd be Stephen Bennett. Around the outfield for the Jammers, it's Jimmy Standahar in left field. John Conti in center. Colin Stack in right. Chris Estrada down at third. Ryan Markey at short. Nick Bernick at second. Ben Brookover is down at first. Behind the plate, it is Connor Rule. And on the hill, it's Nate Grant. The first pitch, a nice sweeping curveball. Hits the inside corner, taken by Scalzo, strike 1. 0-1 the count. This is hit on a couple of hops. Nick Bernick down to one knee, gets up and throws to Ben Brookover. Anthony Scalzo is out number 1. 1 up, 1 down in the Flames half of inning number 1. And it brings up second baseman Alex Canty. Canty on the season for the Flames, hitting .274. This is 19th game and 18th start, 20 for 73 in the season. He scored 11 runs, 30 total bases for the young man as well. And he pops the first pitch up, and it floats over into foul territory, and Nick Burnett goes in behind Ben Brookover and makes the catch. And Nate Grant says, "Thank you for keeping my pitch count down." 2 gone now in the Flames half of the first inning. No score in the game. And it brings up first baseman Trey Bauer. First pitch to him from Nate Grant is a strike. No balls and 1 strike. The lefty on the hill for the Jammers. Looking good so far. The 0-1 pitch. Weakly grounded. Charging. Throwing. Scooping out Ben Brookover and getting Trey Bauer for the final out of inning number 1. No runs across for the Flames, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. A 3-up, 3-downer for Nate Grant. The score at the end of 1, Jammers nothing, Flames nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Soon enough, it was up to me to be his housekeeper and financial manager, too. When he moved in, I became his cook and even his nurse. But no matter what roles I play, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the roles you play. So to help, we created aarp.org/caregiving, where you can connect with experts and other caregivers. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Onondaga Community College Field. Dave Shannon on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network, and the Jammers coming into tonight's game with that nice mark of 16-5, and they're doing pretty well both at home and on the road. Let's take a look at the Jamestown Jammers as they do it on the road coming into the game. A .301 team batting average and a .193 ERA. At the plate, it's Colin Stack. Just to prove a point, Stack is hitting .325 on the road, and overall, Colin is hitting .324. Colin, this is his 16th game and 17th start, 23 for 71. 14 runs, 3 homers, puts him up amongst the leaders, tied for third. First pitch to Stack, missed. And the second one as well. It is 2-0 to Colin Stack. Chops one off the front of the plate. Pitcher's off the mound, and Emmett Dunn does not have a play. Colin Stack gets an infield single. The guy with the power chops one off the front of the plate and reaches one aboard for the Jammers in the top of the second, bringing up catcher Connor Rule. 216 is a Anthony Brown and Connor Rule. He's got somebody out there. Hit 478. Big chance. from the pitcher. Ryan Markey picked up up to second. Left for Nick Bernick. Nick coming to the plate for the Jammers this season. Let's see what Nick is. Nick's batting average coming into tonight's game is .206, his 12th start, 10th game. 7 for 34, 3 runs scored. Nick, a right-handed hitter, the right-handed pitcher on the... Someone's been working in the bullpen for the Flames. I can't think that that is anything more than regular bullpen work. First pitch catches outside corner, and it's strike one called. The guy down in the bullpen for the Flames is coming up. Hit high in the air toward the field. That should be Connor in. It's Connor tagging, coming home. He does slide on the advice of John Conti, who's waiting to get his at-bat. Sack fly. And the Giants have a 2-0 lead. There is one corners for John Conti. Looking in, I don't know, want to try to appeal that Connor left too early. Jammers did get caught on one of those earlier in the season. Sandehar's at third now, and the runner at first. Ryan Markey. John Conti at the plate. John hitting .324 now on the season. This is his 17th appearance and 11th start. And the first pitch ends up being fouled into the home plate umpire, and that stung. He's going to go out toward the mound, and Adam Gallagher, as a good catcher does, will buy some time for the home plate umpire, as he certainly had a bit of a limp when he first stepped out from behind the plate, lifting his left leg where that foul ball hit him. And Flames dugout asks if he's okay, as they have their trainer on hand and would send him out if they need to. Adam Gallagher having a chat with him, and Adam has a grin on his face. And we're back and set to go. No balls, 1 strike to John Conti. Runner at third, Sandejar. Markey at first. 1 out, a 2-0 Jammers lead. Cut, and just getting a piece of it, and it fouls right down at the feet of Conti, and it's picked up by the catcher Gallagher. No advance by Ryan Markey on the play, and now Anthony Barone calls John Conti down the third base line. The count's 0-2 on John. Let's see what kind of words of encouragement he has for the young man. Left-handed hitting center fielder for the Jammers. Jammers 2, Onondaga nothing. We're in the top of the second here at Onondaga Community College. Conti did not see action in the game we played here earlier this year. Toss over to first, and Markey dives back in safely. Pretty good dive. You got to be careful with your slides and your dives with this turf. Otherwise, you end up with burns. Dirt's one thing, burns are another, and it can happen on the artificial surface. Oh, after the toss over to first, Emmett Dunn ready to bring the 0-2 pitch to John Conti. Conti looks in at Gallagher. Has a look over at Conti at first, who has a pretty decent lead off the bag. 0-2 pitch off speed delivery, a swing and a miss by Conti, and he's out number 2. 2 gone, and it rolls around to the top of the order for Chris Conley. In the previous game played here at Onondaga Community College, Chris was 2 for 2, and both of his hits doubles. Plus, he walked 3 times. Jammers scored 7 on that particular day. And his on-base percentage was 1.0, slugging 2.0, OPS 3.0. Nicely done, Chris Conley. First pitch to him's a strike. No balls and 1 strike to the left-handed hitting DH. Chris Conley, doubleheader coming up tomorrow at Newark. And Chris given the day off behind the plate here. Ryan Markey heads down to second. The throw down. He slides and he gets in. And now Standahar breaks for home, and the throw is wide up the first baseline. Gallagher's going to have to chase it down all the way to the backstop. Moving up to third is Ryan Markey. Stolen base. And so the Jammers have taken a 3 lead with Standahar starting from third. Down strike the way. Wyatt Myers, the shortstop, that is, picking up the error on the throw in. Next pitch by Dunn misses, and the count now is 2 balls and 1 strike to Chris Conley. Jammers erupting for 3 here. High chopper hit towards second baseman Alex Canty. Canty throws to Trey Bauer to retire Chris Conley. And the Jammers here in the top half of the second inning. 3 runs across, though. Jammers did that on 3 hits. An error charge to the Onondaga Flames. And 1 runner left on base. We have completed 1.5 in the score. Jammers 3, Flames nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Today, you hit the snooze bar. You checked your email. You checked your fantasy football team. You rejected an insulting trade offer. You ate your lunch. You did all the things that one normally does the day before a 175-mile-per-hour hurricane blows through your city, leaving it in a state of ruin. You never know when the day before is the day before. Prepare for tomorrow at ready.gov/today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Long ball last night at Adirondack, and small ball so far here tonight at Onondaga Community College as the Jammers jump out to a 3-0 lead after 3 singles to start the inning there in the top half of the second. And those 3 singles, 2 of them were infield variety. Colin Stack with a weak shot that the pitcher Emmett Dunn fielded and could not managed to get a throw off, so Stack reached, and then Connor Rule smacked a solid single to center. Jimmy Standahar bunting with 2 on and nobody out, and Emmett Dunn came off the mound but could not get things together in time to make a throw, so the first 3 guys up were on. And at the plate for the Onondaga Flames, here in the bottom half of the second inning, designated hitter Gage Lanning. First pitch to him, a strike. Cuts and misses at the second Nate Grant pitch, strike 2. Flames did Nate a lot of favors swinging early and counts there in the bottom half of the first inning. And now Gage Lanning protecting the plate to stay alive, fouls one off. Down the right field line. And some kids are making their way over there to see if they can find that baseball. 0-2 the count. Nate Grant's pitch, high outside, and the count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gage Lanning, the leadoff hitter here in the bottom half of the second. Lanning, leading hitter on the team, is hitting .415. Pops this one up, and Ben Brookover will make the catch in foul territory. Gage Lanning is out number 1. Second out recorded in foul territory by the Jammers. Nate Grant's come with his A game here tonight, and it brings up the left fielder Kyle Gallagher. Gallagher coming into the game hitting .310. This is 16th game and 12th start, 13 for 42 on the season. He has scored 5 runs as well. For Kyle Gallagher. Second batter of the inning, nobody aboard and 1 out, in the first pitch from Nate Grant right down the pipe, taken by Gallagher, strike 1 called. Sam Little, the right fielder, on deck for the Flames. 0-1 pitch on its way. fouled back to the home plate grandstand area, which has some covered seats here. Strike 2 to Kyle Gallagher. Nate Grant ready with the 0-2 pitch. It was outside, and reaching out, slapping at it, and fouling it off down the right field line area again is Kyle Gallagher, and the count remains 0-2 to the right-handed hitting left fielder of the Onondaga Flames. That pitch is high, and that's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Gallagher. Second batter of the inning for the Flames. 1-2 pitch is high, ball 2. 2-2 the count to Gallagher. And Nate Grant's pitch is fouled back to the netting of the home plate grandstand. Count remains. Scoreboard has it at 3-2, and perhaps I did miss a pitch. The umpire has not shown a count manually behind the plate. That pitch is inside, so it was 3-2 because Kyle Gallagher is making his way down to first base. It's ball 4. It'll bring up the right fielder, Sam Little. Sam Little, coming into the game, is hitting .246. This is 18th game and 17th start for the Onondaga Flames. Runner at first is Kyle Gallagher with 1 out, and the first pitch is in on the bat handle and fouled back by Little for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to the left-handed hitting right fielder of the Onondaga Flames, Sam Little. Sam Little at the plate when there are runners on base, hitting .258. That pitch, curveball, misses outside and low to Sam Little, and the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-0 the score. Hard. To be called a ball play. This far into the season now, you have to come to that realization one is going to be called a strike. 1-2 pitch, off-speed delivery and way out in front of it. Adam Gallagher swings and misses. And that'll do it for the Flames in their half of the second. No runs across, no hits, no Jammers errors, and a runner left on base. The walk to Kyle Gallagher. We've now completed 2 at Onondaga Community College. The score, Jammers 3, Flames nothing on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming. Catchy, huh? How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel!
The forest has been preparing just for you. Learn more about cool things.
We're back at Onondaga Community College. As we enter the inning of play, and the Jammers sending to the plate here in the third inning. Chris Estrada, Ben Brookover, and Colin Stack. Some kids participating in a game going on here. And Gallagher has his stuff back on, the tools of ignorance, if you will. Adam Gallagher back behind the plate, catches the final warm-up toss from his pitcher, Emmett Dunn, and we're set to go here in the top of the third inning. And just a little reminder to YouTube, that song playing in the background, that song was done by the public address system here at Onondaga and not by me. So don't try to pinch me for another copyright violation during the audio there. First pitch to Chris Estrada from Emmett Dunn is in there for a strike. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting third baseman of the Jammers. The pitch hit down the third base line past a diving Stephen Bennett. Rolls down into left field. Estrada is headed for second. The throw in. It's cut off by Wyatt Myers. The shortstop cuts it off, and in at second base with a leadoff double is Chris Estrada. Jammers started the top of the second with back-to-back-to-back singles, 2 infield varieties, and 1 solid shot to center field. Now we start the top of the third with a double down the third base line off the bat of Chris Estrada. Emmett Dunn looking a bit frustrated out there on the mound. Kicks at the dirt before he steps up on the rubber. And the righty will look in at Ben Brookover. Ben's second trip to the plate tonight. Called out on strikes for the final out of the first. First pitch to him way inside. Almost clipped his right knee on the way back to the catcher's glove of Adam Gallagher. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at second, Estrada, and nobody out. Top of the third. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball down toward the first baseman, Bauer Fields. Underhand toss, and getting to the bag and beating Ben Brookover is Emmett Dunn. Moving down to third base on the ground out to first is Chris Estrada. It'll bring up Colin Stack, the right fielder. And the power guy hit that little chopper off the front of the plate down the third base line and was able to reach. He's the guy that got things started for the Jammers in the top of the second. Estrada at third. First pitch, Stack pops it up. First baseman giving chase in foul territory. He does that same kind of slide that was attempted by Jimmy Standahar in left. He didn't run nearly as far as Jimmy did to get to that one that he almost caught, but he ends up running out of room, sliding, and the ball falls for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike to Colin Stack. The 0-1 pitch. Line drive into right center field for a base hit. Chris Estrada can walk home and pick up a pita sandwich on the way. And it is now Jammers 4, Onondaga nothing. Stack picks himself up an RBI with that sharp shot into right center field. So the Jammers continue to show their offensive prowess on this road trip. At the plate, it's Connor Rule. He was the guy with the best out of that back-to-back-to-back single stuff that went on. And really, a couple of those were problems with Emmett Dunn being able to field the ball and then be able to make a throw to first base, but they're infield singles when that happens. And they were slow dribblers in that high chopper by Stack, dribbler by Standahar as he was trying to actually bunt to move the runners up, and Dunn just had some problems fielding his position. First pitch to Connor Rule. Make that the second pitch. I do believe the count is 1-1, and it is. 1 ball, 1 strike. There goes the runner off the throw down, and Colin Stack easily steals second base. I'll tell you what, you talk about a young man with a lot of talent. You name it. He does a great job in right field. He has power at the plate. He's fast. It's just the darndest thing. Anthony Barone and I were talking about Colin Stack and remarking that he's the kind of guy you look at, you don't subscribe power to somebody of that size. And he said he's just one of those wiry kind of great athletes. And boy, is he. Colin Stack with the base up. 2 ball, 1 strike count on a Rule. Emmett Dunn's 2-1 pitch. Now Stack tries to steal third. He does, and the throw down from Gallagher goes into left field. Stack gets up, comes in, and scores. The Jammers lead 5-0. And that was kind of reminiscent of what went on in the Washington Nationals game against the Chicago Cubs last night, where the stolen base parade was going on with Jake Arrieta on the mound. Arrieta somewhat accused of being slow to the plate, and there was, well, the catcher was sent down to the minors after he kind of intimated that that was the fault of Jake Arrieta. The fact of the matter is he had not thrown anyone out in 31 attempts, so let's forget that as the reason why that was happening last night. The 3-ball pitch to Connor Rule was ball 4, so he's down at first base now. Rule down at first. 1 out, 2 runs in the inning. Estrada started the inning with a double, and Jimmy Standahar will step in. One of the pitchers for the Flames up in the bullpen. I'll try to get a number for you here in a moment. Standahar with that bunt single back in the second. 5-0 Jammers lead, top of the third. Emmett Dunn's pitch. Right down the pipe, taken by Jimmy at strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting left fielder tonight, Jimmy Standahar. Down at first base, it's Connor Rule, on base 2 times so far in tonight's game. Starting to lean a little bit on his lead, and Emmett Dunn makes a toss over, forcing Connor to dive back in at first base. He gets a big lead out there. Emmett Dunn on the hill. No balls and 1 strike, and there goes Connor Rule. A little hit and run, and that one down to third base, and Stephen Bennett has trouble with it, and it goes off his glove into foul territory. And reaching is Jimmy Standahar. They will put that up as an error for the Onondaga Flames. And now it'll be Ryan Markey's opportunity with 2 on and just 1 out. As nice a play as Bennett made to turn that double play, that one was a bit on the ugly side. So Rule at second, Standahar down at first, Markey at the plate for a second trip. He got an RBI when he walked back in the second, stole second, and then got the third on a throwing error to the plate. That's where he was. 2 times. Jeff DeStefano cleared that. Really low, caught it, but it was indicative of the frustration going on with the Flames here early in this ball game. Hammers lead it 5-0, 5 runs on 5 hits. And so far, Nate Grant has been keeping the Flames at bay. No error. here and they perform a walk or whatever, you're going to see a pitching change by the Flames. Payoff pitch, line drive, 100. Goes to a shortstop, 1. The throw to first. They Conley ready. More in the of tonight's game here at Onondaga Community College. Conti on base on the fielder's choice. And Bernicker on force. For Chris Conley, the first diving back in is Conti, and you know, after the little show that Colin Stack put on, that he'd probably like to get a stolen base himself here at this point. Conley's previous at-bats, he walked in the first and grounded out the second, in the second for the last out of that inning. And the first pitch is called strike 1. Chris Conley doesn't agree because, once again, there's a way protests to the home plate umpire, and it's how far he walks out of the home plate circle. And he was a good ways out there. We've been to that circle cutout that we have at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. There goes Conti, and the throw was not even made by Adam Gallagher. He caught it. It was called strike 2, and he started the throw and just saw where Conti was and held off. So I'm giving John a stolen base because my stuff is not official. Let's do the count to Conley. The pitch. The pitch is long on, dropped by Gallagher, and throw down to first. High, jumps up, comes on the back. Conley is the third of the third inning. For the and they did all of that on just 2 hits. There was an error charge to the Jamestown Jammer, or I'm sorry, it'd have been a trick to charge one to us. An error charge to the Onondaga Flames, and there were 2 runners left. We've now completed 2.5, Jammers 7, Flames nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. 17 million kids in America struggle with it. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Another pitcher is loosening in the Onondaga Flames bullpen here at Onondaga Community College, where the Jamestown Jammers lead the Onondaga Flames by a score of 7-0. For a while, Jeff DeStefano was loosening in that bullpen. And at the plate, it's shortstop Wyatt Myers. Myers' first trip to the plate tonight. Nate Grant misses outside low, ball 1. Nate Grant works at a very nice pace. The 1-0 pitch fouled back into the home plate grandstand netting, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Warming in the pen now, Ryan Greco is loosening, a righty out there in the pen. Next pitch by Nate Grant misses to Wyatt Myers, and the count is 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. And that one's high. It's ball 3. 3-1 the count to Wyatt Myers. That was only the 31st pitch of the night for Nate Grant. Pitch number 32 is cut on and missed, and the count's full with 3-2. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nate Grant's payoff pitch popped up foul territory. Brookover gives chase, and had he been able to get over there, there's a lot of ground to cover in foul territory here. And Ben almost got to it, but it falls. And the count remains full with 3-2 on Wyatt Myers. Myers takes a walk down to first, and Stephen Bennett, the third baseman, will step to the plate for his first. Game in 17th start, he's 16 for 50, and he scored 12 runs. He has also accumulated 8 ribbies over the course of the season. Nate Grant's first pitch to him, cut on and missed, strike one. No balls and 1 strike, the count to the right-handed hitting third baseman Stephen Bennett. Bottom of the third inning, 7-0 Jammers lead. 0-1 the count to Stephen Bennett. Nate Grant's pitch. Off speed delivery, floats high, and the count's even at 1 now on Stephen Bennett. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner down at first base, a leadoff walk to Wyatt Myers. Maybe Nate can induce a double play hit here. It is grounded, and it's in the hole. Diving for it, making the stop as Markey got up, thought about throwing to first, and thought better of it. Bennett moving quickly down the line. Give him an infield single. Jammers have had their share of that tonight. Move Myers up to second, and the first threat of the ball game for the Onondaga Flames. Runners at first and second, and nobody out for center fielder Anthony Scalzo. Scalzo grounded out to Nick Bernick for the first out of the Flames half of the first. And the first pitch by Grant floats high. It's ball 1, and quickly out from behind the plate, it's Connor Rule. Rule will go out and have a chat. Not much of a chat. That looked like about, if at the most, 2 words. A pat on the behind, and Rule comes running back behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. Inside corner taken by Scalzo. The count's even at 1. 1-1 the count. This would be critical for the Flames here if they could do something in this bottom of the third. Pitch misses high, and the count now 2-1. Scalzo at the plate. The count 2-1. Nate Grant with a 2-1 pitch, fouled back to the home plate netting. And the count evens up at 2-2. Scalzo coming into the game hitting .245, his 17th game and 15th start. He's 13 for 53, scored 9 runs, but he has hit a double, a triple, and a homer for the Flames. That pitch is high and outside, ball 3. So once again, Nate Grant going to a full count, this time on Anthony Scalzo. Went full on Myers and walked him. Bennett singled on a 1-1 pitch. Full count again. That pitch is high, and it's ball 4. So Nate Grant having a bit of trouble with the strike zone here. Myers goes over to third. Bennett down to second, and Hayden Carter taking a slow walk out to the mound. Nate Grant obviously frustrated, takes a long walk off the mound out into the turf between him and Nick Bernick. And here's Hayden Carter. Hayden has, over the course of the seasons that he's been with the Jammers, in these situations will go out, talk to his starting pitcher, and it usually results in something real good. We'll see if that's the case here. He, Rule, and Grant meet, and the home plate umpire very courteous, giving them a lot of time out there, and never even walks out to break up the discussion between the three. Connor Rule gets back behind the plate, ready to catch the first pitch to Alex Canty. Second baseman fouls the first pitch off. over the dugout of the Onondaga Flames. It is strike one. No balls and one strike to Alex Canty with the bases loaded. Canty popped out in foul territory to Nick Burnick for the second out of the first. Bottom of the third here, and Nate Grant hangs on to that one a little bit too long inside and low. It comes to Alex Canty, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nate Grant trying to find the zone here. Misses there. Throw down to first, and they almost picked off. Great throw by Connor Rule, one hopper. Ben Brookover quickly put the tag on Anthony Scalzo, but he got back safely. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Alex Canty. And the 2-1 pitch by Grant. Grounded foul down the third baseline. Right past Ryan Stevens. And continuing down into foul territory. Counts even at 2. Good time for Nate to be throwing strike 3 with the bases loaded here. Oh my, Rule held that there for a while. Looked about belt high, but no call forthcoming. Another full count, this time to Alex Canty. Jammers have scored runs on walks, forcing in runners, and that's exactly what happens here. Alex Canty picks up an RBI as Wyatt Myers crosses the plate, and the bases remain loaded with nobody out. 7-1 now. Onondaga Flames on the season hitting .266. So they have that offensive power to them. And the first pitch by Grant is way high. It's ball 1. It's quite a ways down and away from me where the bullpen is for the Jammers, but no one is loosening at the moment. 1-0 pitch. Inside, almost hits Bauer. He gets out of the way and takes ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes after Nate Grant off to 2 good innings to start tonight's game. Having trouble with control here. This one's popped up down the right field line. Stack gives chase. It falls in the big warning track red that's down in turf. Once again, the Onondaga Community College field is an all-turf field with the only dirt out there, the pitcher's mound. Three set, Bauer. Grant after It's kind of a low cirrus clouds kind of evening. No sunshine for sure. Lights have come on here at Onondaga Community College Field. 1-1 the count to Gage Lanning. And the 1-1 pitch. Fouled back over everything. And it's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Make that 2-2. Runner down at first is Canty. Scalzo at second, Bennett at third, and they'll be going nowhere because Lanning fouls off another one. Count remains even at 2. Jammers, after this game tonight, stay in the area and take on the Newark Pilots. 2 7-inning games coming up tomorrow night. That one hits. Gage Lanning comes inside and hits him. He goes down to first. That brings in Stephen Bennett with the second run of the game for the Flames. Scalzo now at third, Canty at second, Lanning at first, still one out, and a 7-2 Jammers lead. And now they're going to check to see if that hit him before it hit the turf. Gage Lanning, the DH, has his bat back, has not taken his batting gloves off. The umpires continue to discuss it. And let's see. They're going to put Lanning back up at the plate. So the count will be 3-2 on Lanning. Stephen Bennett will go back to third base. Well, this has popped up into shallow right. Burnick back, Stack in. Stack makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. It's up the first base line, but Scalzo stayed at third. Now, here's what happened. They allow the run to score by Bennett. Put Lanning back up at the plate, and he pops out to Stack in shallow right, but the run's allowed to score, so Scalzo is at third, Canty's at second. At the plate, Kyle Gallagher fouls off the first pitch, strike one. Still 7-2, now 2 out. Kyle Gallagher up for a second trip. Count evens up and 1-1 as he takes that one high. Gallagher walked back in the second and was left stranded at first. Bottom of the third, 7-2 the score, and he fouls off another Nate Grant pitch, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Home plate ump is out of balls, and he has to go over to the Flames dugout. Had a couple ferried out to him, and now he gets about 4 more taken out to him. Tosses one to Connor Rule, who throws it out to Nate Grant, and the rest will go in the pockets of the home plate umpire. He's loaded back up. Gallagher will step back in with a 1-2 count. We'll see if Nate Grant can get him here and bring this Flames rally to an end. Outside corner, strike 3 called. PGCBL special, as Kyle Gallagher is caught looking for the final out of the inning. So 2 runs come across for the Flames, just 1 hit. Ground ball that was in the hole between short and third that was fielded by Markey, but he never made the throw. That's the 1 hit. And there were 2 runners left on base, no errors for the Jammers as well. Now at the end of 3, the score, Jammers 7, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your donation center at Goodwill. That's goodwill.org.
Field, Dave Shannon on Jammers Baseball Network, and a little kickback from the Onondaga Flames as they bring 2 across, primarily due to a problem with the strike zone for Nate Grant. Up for the Jammers in their half of the 4th, Chris Estrada, Ben Brookover, and Colin Stack. Estrada, leadoff hitter once again. New pitcher on the hill for the Onondaga Flames. He was warming earlier. That's Jeff DeStefano. And he is out there now for the Flames. Try to give you some final numbers for tonight's starter, Emmett Dunn, as we get you ready for Jeff DeStefano. DeStefano, a lefty, 6'2", $190, from right here in Liverpool, New York, right in the area, attending Canisius College. We could have another one of those Canisius reunions going on out there. DeStefano has just been in one game and pitched a third of an inning. Gave up 7 runs, 3 hits. Now, you've been in one game and pitched 1 inning. You give up 7 runs, 3 hits. 4 of those runs are earned. DeStefano's ERA, 108. Obviously, if he can get some innings in, that'll go down, but that's one you hate to get up in the morning and read the paper. It's like, how am I doing? It's like, no, don't tell me. So DeStefano coming into the game in replacement of Emmett Dunn. And he'll face Estrada, Brookover, and Stack here in the top half of the 4th inning. Estrada leading off for the second time in the ball game. An unusual occurrence where Chris Conley committed the final out of back-to-back innings. First pitch to him, a nice tight shot on the outside corner from the relief pitcher, DeStefano. And that is strike 1 to Chris Estrada. Jeff DeStefano's next pitch on that outside corner again, and it's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes the count. 0-2 pitch by DeStefano outside in the dirt this time, and the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chris Estrada at the plate for a third trip. Grounded into a double play back in the first inning. He doubled and scored, hit a great shot down the line in his previous at-bat in the second. Up here in the 4th, the next pitch is outside and low, and the count is now even at 2 on Chris Estrada. And the throwback from catcher Adam Gallagher to Jeff DeStefano rolls all the way out to Alex Canty, the second baseman. Picks it up and gets it back to Jeff DeStefano. 2-2 the count. DeStefano taking his time, getting the sign from his catcher, Adam Gallagher. Now brings a 2-2 pitch. It's popped up. Shallow center field going back. The second baseman, Canty, and he makes the catch right in front of Anthony Scalzo. He was ready to catch the ball, Canty, and anything else that fell in his direction. Pop out the shallow center out the bat of Chris Estrada brings up Ben Brookover. Brookover at the plate for a third trip. Called out on strikes back in the first for the final out of that inning. And then grounded out to first baseman Trey Bauer. Underhand toss to Emmett Dunn for the first out of the third. Nobody aboard and 1 out for Ben. First pitch to him by DeStefano, high outside. That's ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the Jammers first baseman, base. Jammers 7-2, and Connor Rule, we'll see if he can advance the cause here. Connor Rule at the plate for a third trip. He scored 2 of the Jammers 7. hits, struck out a couple. That 1-0 record, a 0 for an ERA. So we'll see if he is able to shut down the Jammers here in the top of the 5th inning. Tonight that the Jammers 3 in the second, then 4 in the and pitch. Making third, flying the pitch behind the for the bench second inside. Or rather, Mr. Brunick. One ball, no strike. Nick, the leadoff back guide through last night. He played with the Trailblazers now, and the second pitch. Almost no strike. Next two. Just one on the side corner. Burnick from Pittsburgh, PA. He's attending Niagara. 2-1 pitch way. Cutting a miss, and the count's now even at 2 on Nick. Jammers staying in the Liverpool area, not too far away from the Onondaga Flames. Once again, tomorrow, airtime 5 o'clock against the Pilots. It's out after one of those. Almost hits us. Pitch. One fielded by Canty, throws to Trey Bauer. In their half fifth. And a left on base. The score at the end of 4.5. Jammers 8, Onondaga 2 on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart. I put money into my 401k paycheck. I'm taking control of my pretty
Away a few bucks, $1 million. For easy way to stay. Feedthepig.org.
This
Scalzo, Alex Canty, and Trey Bauer to face Nate Grant, the lefty on the hill. Nate Grant going out for the fifth. So far in tonight's game has thrown 81 pitches. This may be his last trip out there on the hill for tonight. He's thrown 48 strikes and 33 balls for those 81 pitches. Much more efficient early on in the ballgame, and then ran into some control issues in the third that led to Onondaga's 2 runs. First pitch to Scalzo misses high outside. That is ball 1. Scalzo at the plate for a third trip. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to Nick Bernick for the first out of the first inning, and then walked. Made it to third in the third, but never got in. Next pitch to him, a strike, and he pops up the next pitch. Brookover yields to Nick Bernick, who makes the catch. And that is the first out of the fifth inning. So Nick Bernick retires Anthony Scalzo, and that will bring up second baseman Alex Canty. Canty at the plate for a third trip. He popped out to Nick Bernick for the second out of the first. And he also walked and got himself an RBI by walking, forcing in a run back in the third. So he's 0 for 1 in the night. Nate Grant's second pitch to him's a strike. The first one a ball, and the count's even at 1 now. To Alex Canty. 1-1 pitch on the outside corner, strike 2. Nate Grant coming out very efficient here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Maybe the Jammers can get one more out of Nate. 1-2 pitch on its way. Off-speed delivery, oh my. How did Canty lay off that? That was in that PGCBL outside corner zone, but he took it, and he got the call. 2-2 the count. This one's inside and popped up off the bat handle. Late start by Canty coming in, and it drops in front of him. Alex Canty with a one-out single to center field down at first base. And first baseman Trey Bauer comes up. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Trey Bauer, 6'5", $185, and he comes from Baseball Central, St. Louis, Missouri. First pitch to him is a strike. He's attending Cornell, is Trey Bauer. No balls, 1 strike to count to him. Nate Grant shakes off one Connor Rule sign and now has the one he wants and makes a quick toss over to first. Not a good one. It hits in the brown turf in front of Ben Brookover, bounces up, and Ben is able to handle it. No balls, 1 strike. Grant's 0-1. Line drive into right field, a base hit. Rolling out there, picked up by Stack. Stopping at second is Canty. Runners at first and second with a single off the bat of Bauer. And that'll bring up the DH Gage Lanning. So after it looked like things were off to a good start for Nate Grant, suddenly now the Flames have put 2 on with just 1 out. And Nate's pitch count is up to 91. Designated hitter Gage Lanning comes up with a runner down at first in Trey Bauer. Alex Canty at second. 8-2 Jammers lead. Bottom of the 5th. Popped up by Gage Lanning to center field. Conti gets underneath, makes the catch. Tagging at second and moving to third base is Alex Canty. Gage Lanning, a sac fly to center for the second out of the inning. And that will bring up the left fielder, well, a pinch hitter, actually. Colin Bavard will come in to pinch hit for left fielder Kyle Gallagher with 2 out. Canty at third, Trey Bauer at first. First pitch to him, misses. Ball 1 to Bavard. Bavard from Warners, New York. He's at SUNY Cortland, where I attended school for a while. Next pitch to him misses outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. So we'll see what Bavard can do with that 1-0 pitch from Grant. He fouls it back to the home plate netting. And the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he fouls off the 1-1 pitch over toward the Flames bullpen area. Hits the perimeter fencing and rolls down. First base coach goes down to retrieve that. The count 1-2 on Colin Bavard. Outside corner, strike 3 called. That'll do it for the Flames in their half of the 5th. Little bit of a threat. They leave runners at the corners. No runs, couple of hits. No errors for the Jammers, and as I said, 2 left on base. We've completed 5. Jammers 8, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Top of the 6th, the parade of pitchers continues for the Onondaga Flames. On the hill now is Tyler Rourke. Rourke at 6'2", $175 out of Jacksonville, Florida, attending Alabama A&M. Right-hander on the hill now for the Onondaga Flames. He'll be facing Ben Brookover, Colin Stack, and Connor Rule. Check to see, as he is listed as an infielder on the roster, and we'll check to see if Tyler Rourke has indeed pitched at all. Yes, he has. And he has a 1-0 record. This was actually his 6th game. He has 2 saves, been used as their closer, 8 2/3. He's given up 2 runs, 5 hits, only 1 earned, walked 7, struck out 11. Faced 36 batters and opponents averaging 172 when Tyler Rourke is on the hill for the Onondaga Flames. So we'll give you the numbers as we have them. For Greco, who came in and threw a scoreless inning. Jamestown Jammers on a roll as they've just won 2 in a row. They were knocked off by the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs on Saturday night, then a win against Elmira Sunday. A huge win against Adirondack last night, 19-5. And now leading 8-2 here at Onondaga. Ben Brookover takes the first pitch by Tyler Rourke and misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the Jammers' first baseman. 1-0 pitch, floats high and inside, and Ben turns away from it and takes ball 1. Make that ball 2, sorry. 2 balls, no strikes. Ben steps back in, and the 2-0 pitch hit high in the air, deep to left field. Going back is Bavard. He makes the catch for out number 1. 1 out in the Jammers' half of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Colin Stack. Colin Stack on the season is doing pretty darn well. Stack, as a matter of fact, when we played here before, went 2 for 5 with a run scored, and tonight he's 2 for 2 with a couple of RBIs, and he scored twice. One was a base stealing exhibition, and the first pitch to him by Rourke is in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Righty Rourke's pitch is inside and back Stack up, and the count now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-handed hitting right fielder, the Jamestown product attending UMBC. Looking real good for the Jammers this year. Off-speed pitch by Rourke, misses. Inside to Colin Stack. Count now 2-1. 1 out, nobody aboard in the top of the 6th. Jammers up 8-2, and the 2-1 pitch. Inside again. Keeps moving Stack back a little further every pitch. Make that 3 balls and 1 strike now. Stack steps back in, and the 3-1. Inside ball 4. So he never really had much in control, Tyler Rourke that is, with Colin Stack at the plate. Connor Rule steps up. Connor's having himself a night. He is 2 for 2, singled and scored in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 3rd, RBI single in the 4th. Up here in the 6th, runner at first in Stack, and the first pitch is in the dirt, pops out in front of the plate. No attempt to move down by Colin Stack. He wasn't ready for the Washington Nationals base stealing show on that one. Ball 1 to Rule. The 1-0 pitch is on its way from Tyler Rourke. That's low, and the count now 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Jammers up by a score of 8-2. 8-7-0 for the Jammers, 2-4-3 for the Flames. Right at the knees, taken by Rule, count now 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Talked about this earlier. Stack with runners on base is hitting, not Stack, I was looking for Connor Rule. Ground ball toward the shortstop by Connor Rule. They get the out at 2nd and on to 1st. It's an inning-ending double play, 6-4-3. Connor Rule grounds into that double play, and that'll do it for the Jammers. Ends up being a 3-up, 3-downer for Tyler Rourke. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Flames, and nobody left on base. We have now completed 5.5. The score, Jammers 8. Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit tunein2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
in no doubt what will be the final inning of work for Nate Grant one way or to other. He comes out to start the bottom of the 6th inning. Connor Rule, having hit into the double play, still putting on the tools of ignorance, so Chris Conley out to catch the warm-up tosses from Nate Grant. Nate will be facing Sam Little, Adam Gallagher, and Wyatt Myers here in the bottom of the 6th. Sam Little is 1 for 2 in the night, and he will lead things off against Nate Grant. Nate's not had the best of control nights tonight, as he's thrown 96 coming into the inning, 59 strikes and 37 balls. On the other side of the ledger, the Onondaga Flames are on their 4th pitcher of the night. Starter Emmett Dunn went 3, gave up 7 of the Jammers' 8 runs. And then we had reliever come in, Jeff DeStefano. DeStefano went an inning, Greco went an inning, and now Rourke for an inning. First pitch to Sam Little, right in there, and strike 1 called. 0-1 pitch on its way, fouled off. He's ahead of Little, no balls and 2 strikes. Sam Little, when leading off an inning, hitting 154. That pitch misses, and the count now goes to 1-2. This will be pitch number 100 of the night for Nate Grant. The 1-2 delivery, cut on and miss, strike 3. 1 gone in the Flames half of inning number 6. 62 strikes, 38 balls on the night by Nate Grant to reach that number 100. Adam Gallagher steps up. Gallagher 0 for 2, struck out 2 times with Nate Grant on the hill and fouls off the first pitch by Nate, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting catcher. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one misses. Came with some heat, a little bit high to Adam Gallagher. Count evens at 1-1. Quickly brings the 1-1 pitch, and the count now 2-1 to Adam Gallagher. Onondaga's 2 runs came in the bottom of the 3rd. We're in the bottom of the 6th. That one's inside, ball 3. And should he walk Gallagher, I don't know if that may not be it for Nate Grant. The 3-1 pops it up and out of play, and the count is full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now 105 pitches for Nate Grant. There is activity in the Jammers' pen. That one misses outside, ball 4, and Anthony Barone's going to make that change as Nate Grant throws his 106th pitch. And let's see who Anthony decides to bring in out of the Jammers' pen. I see no one making a move toward the field. Finally, someone does. Comes out of the pen. Looks like it's going to be Ryan Boyer. And so Nate Grant's night is done. Ryan Boyer takes the hill. Seeing Ryan back-to-back nights here on this road trip. Ryan Boyer coming into the game for the Jammers on the season. Let's make this his 4th appearance. A 2.70 ERA, 3 1/3 innings up to this point, has given up a run, a hit. That run was earned. He's walked 3, struck out 7. Opponents averaging .083 with Ryan Boyer on the hill for the Jammers. And we'll get you some final numbers for Nate Grant and his start here tonight at Onondaga Community College. He leaves with a runner at first in Gallagher and 1 out. The early part of the game, he was kind of breezing through the Flames batting order, and then he had trouble with control in the 3rd and gave up 2 runs there. But he seemed to get everything back under control after that and was good enough to get here into the 6th, going 5 1/3 in tonight's ball game. So all in all, for Nate Grant, a pretty good performance. Jammers have had this. A lot of the guys have been able to, they seem to at times hit what I call a wall there in the 5th inning, because some of these guys normally work out of the pen at their colleges, and they're coming in and they're in starting roles here, so they're not used to the amount of pitches maybe that they're throwing. And the warm-ups continue for Ryan Boyer. And coming to the plate will be a pinch hitter for the shortstop Wyatt Myers. Ryan Boyer with a runner at first, Gallagher, and the pinch hitter at the plate for the Onondaga Flames is Webb Little, Sam Little's twin, so he steps up. Gallagher at first and 1 out. 1-0 pitch from Boyer is low for ball 2. One out. 2-0 the count, the pitch by Boyer. Looked to be right down the middle, but low. Taken by Little. And the count now is 3 balls and no strikes. Ryan Boyer having some trouble finding the strike zone. 3-0 pitch. And that one's right over the inside corner to the left-handed hitter, Webb Little. 3-1 the count. Ryan Boyer, righty on the hill for the Jammers. Ready to bring the 3-1 pitch. Runner goes. Little run and hit action, and Webb Little fouls off the 3-1 pitch to make it 3-2. Count's been coming up all too often for the Jamestown Jammers pitching staff. Of course, same could be said of the Flames as well. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and the runner at first, Gallagher. Ryan Boyer's payoff pitch. It's fouled off right over toward the on-deck batter, and there's going to be a pinch hitter for Bennett as well, as we see Ricky Sisto on deck. He fields that one. Count remains 3-2. Boyer getting the sign from Connor Rule. Once again, the payoff pitch. Runner goes again. Outside high. It's ball 4. So back-to-back walks, one by Nate Grant to end his night, and now one to Webb Little. And now Ricky Sisto steps to the plate in place of Stephen Bennett. Sisto from Liverpool, attending Monroe Community College, 6'2", $195. One out. First pitch to him is up around the eyeballs, and it's taken. Ball 1. One out, 2 runners on. Little struck out swinging. Gallagher and Webb Little both walking. That pitch is on the outside corner, taken by Sisto. The count evens up at 1-1. The old PGCBL special. Ryan Boyer from Bradford, PA, attending Pitt Bradford. 1-1 pitch is delivered now. Runner at second goes, throw down by Connor Rule, gets by the third baseman Estrada into left field, but Adam Gallagher slid hard and could not get up to try to go home. But taking advantage of the situation, Webb Little moves up to second base. So a stolen base for Gallagher, and then Little moving up on the throw. And the count to Ricky Sisto is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Boyer ready to deal the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sisto is out number 2. 2 outs in the inning, both via the strikeout swinging. And it brings up the center fielder, Anthony Scalzo. Scalzo 0 for 2. He grounded out to the second baseman, Nick Bernick, back in the first inning, making the first out for the Flames. He then walked in the third, made it all the way over to third, but did not score. Then he popped out to Nick Bernick in the 5th for the first out of that inning. 2 on, 2 out. First pitch by Boyer right down the pipe and taken by Scalzo, strike 1. Connor Rule has already made some notes in his personal notebook about the hitting style of Scalzo. 0-1 pitch. Outside in the dirt, couldn't get him to chase that time. Count evens at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 6. Scalzo from Mercer Island, Washington. He's a Zag. Attending Gonzaga. I've been there. I was in Spokane. That one's fouled off over the netting, protecting the fans around the home plate area. Count now 3-2, another full count. This time on Anthony Scalzo. Ryan Boyer trying to bring the bottom half of the 6th to an end and keep Onondaga off the board. 3-2 pitch on its way. Outside and gets by Connor Rule. To the backstop, coming in to score is Adam Gallagher. Webb Little moves up to third. And that will, of course, not be an RBI for Scalzo. Gallagher in on the ball 4 wild pitch by Ryan Boyer. Alex Canty, right-handed hitting second baseman, steps in with runners at the corners and 2 out. First pitch to him's on the outside corner, strike 1 called. No balls and a strike to Alex Canty. Canty's 1 for 2. Popped out to Bernick in foul territory in the first. He walked in the 3rd inning, driving in a run when Onondaga scored 2, and then he singled in the 5th. Taking off for second base, no throw by Connor Rule. And because it's me scoring, I'm going to say that moving up to second on defensive indifference is Anthony Scalzo. 2nd and 3rd. Little down at 3rd. Scalzo at 2nd. That pitch is fouled off by Alex Canty. No balls, 2 strikes to Alex Canty. Time called for Canty. Just quickly backs out and steps right back in. 0-2. Ryan Boyer's pitch. Popped out of play again. Count still 0-2 on Alex Canty. Inning started with Nate Grant striking out Sam Little. He then walked the catcher, Adam Gallagher. Ryan Boyer came in and walked Webb Little. He struck out Ricky Sisto, a pinch hitter. Webb Little was a pinch hitter as well. Little is down at third. Scalzo walked. He's at second. Canty at the plate with an 0-2 count on him. 0-2 pitch again. Checks his swing. Did he? They appeal? No. He did not swing, and the count now 1-2. That's a tough call when you only have two umps and you have the infield ump. In this case, with runners at second and third, he's occupying the space between the second base bag and the shortstop. Not the best angle to see if he went around, but he said he did not. 1-2 pitch is popped up and should be playable for the final out of the inning. Ryan Markey circles underneath and makes the catch, and that'll do it for Onondaga in their half of the sixth inning. No runs across, no hits. I'm sorry, one run across and no hits. No errors for the Jammers and a couple runners left on base. The score now, at the end of 6, Jammers 8 and Onondaga 3. More coming up after this. It's Jamestown Jammers Baseball, and it's on, of course, the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you.
Back at Onondaga Community College Field, where the Jammers continue to lead this game by a score of 8-3. As Onondaga keeps creeping along and trying to get back into this thing. Oh, he did so well in his previous inning. Tyler Rourke gets to throw another one for the Onondaga Flames. He will be the first pitcher of the night from the bullpen to go more than one. As Jeff DeStefano threw one, Ryan Greco threw one, and Rourke now working into his second inning. Emmett Dunn started the game and went 3. Jimmy Standahar leads things off for the Jammers in their half of the 7th. And the first pitch, inside. Jimmy has to lift his elbows up and avoid being hit by that one. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Standahar, the leadoff batter here in the 7th, pops up the next pitch in foul territory, giving chase. Shortstop makes the call. Ooh, good thing he caught it. Wyatt Myers. That was a big catch because that was starting to drift. And as a matter of fact, that wouldn't be Myers out there. We did have a pinch hitter for him, I do believe. And it was caught. So a pop-up off the bat of Jimmy Standahar that could have been a disaster there for the Onondaga Flames, but it was handled by the shortstop. And there's one away. At the plate, Ryan Markey, shortstop of the Jamestown Jammers, takes the first pitch, strike 1. Markey's 0 for 1 tonight, but he's been on base 2 times, 2 walks. Picked up an RBI as he forced in a walk in the second and pops up the Tyler Rourke pitch. First baseman Trey Bauer calls for it and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. So suddenly a bit of a power outage, and you can see the reason why Ryan Stevens, the head coach of the Onondaga Flames, chose to stay with Tyler Rourke out there in the hill. 2 up, 2 down for the Jammers, and Nick Bernick steps to the plate. Bernick back to move an RBI. And strikes the count to Nick. That was right off the end of the bat. As time to get some chalk for the cue stick for the young man. It's even a 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 up, 2 down for the Jammers here in their half of the 7th, leading the game by a score of 8-3. And the 1-1 pitch is high, taken by Bernick, ball 2. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike, and the pitch. Misses low, ball 3. 3-1 the count to Nick Bernick. Nobody aboard with 2 out. And he does. And John Conti out. On the night, 0 for 3. Struck out swinging for the second out of the second. Reached on a fielder's choice in the third. As you can tell, I'm at the outside door of the press box, and it shuts rather harshly. Popped out into shallow center field to the second baseman. Hits it in the air into that same area again. It's that was into third baseman Stephen Bennett. And moving up is John Conti. And once again, that is not at Sisto at third now. So, throw mid to Sisto. And now runners at second and third with 2 out. Situation the Jammers have excelled at in 2017. 2 out and being able to bring in runs. We'll see if they can do that here. Bernick walk with 2 and at the plate a curveball by for the Flames. Wrist. No balls in a strike. Score both burn for doesn't statistically up the walk. Get a sack on the way. For the Jammers is new guy Chris Steffel to run for Chris Conley. So it's Steffel for Conley at second base. And Chris Estrada at the plate with a 0-1 count. Estrada catches the outside. Is no balls, and that was the scoreboard. Outside, and a ball to Chris Estrada. That is 1-1. Outside corners, PGCBL special. To keep things going, Jammers of cross here to lead it by a score of 10-3. Pitch catching a piece of it, it pops out of the one Bauer, the first baseman, will lead things off for the Flames in their half of the seventh against Nolan Hunt. And switch grounded down the first field and wins the race to bag easily. Bauer trying to sell that. But he was by Ben Brookhoff, and there's one way in the lane. First pitch to Gage. Next pitch to the right-handed hitting DH. Curveball from Nolan Hunt is in there, and the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Ripped back to the home plate grandstand area. And it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hitting the ball in the air every time. Foul territory. Field caught by Stack, and then out the center field caught by Conti. Next pitch to him misses, and the count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Jammers up 10-3. That pitch is foul tipped into the glove of Connor Rule. He holds on. That's strike 3. Sounded to me like there was for a second trip, called strikes for the final out. Vard went into play. Starter Kyle after he fouled off the strikes. Pitch on its way. Misses high and outside. It's ball 1. The count 1-2. Nolan Hunt for the Jamestown Jammers with a record of 2-0. This is his 8th appearance now. 0-2 pitch. It's outside and in the turf. And the count evens up. Just as I have it at 2. Scoreboard. The pitch. That'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody. 7 the score. Jam and Baseball Network.
Hey, Mom. Again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? It's hard to concentrate. I don't care.
Resource about learning
Dom Spinoso steps up to pitch now as the parade of pitchers continues out of the pen for the Onondaga Flames. Certainly an opportunity to get your pitchers some work in a game trailing 10-3. Tyler Rourke the starter went 3 innings, everybody else just a single inning. So for Dom Spinoso coming into tonight's game for the Onondaga Flames, this will be his 5th appearance, a 4.15 ERA, 4 1/3 pitched, 1 hit, 4 runs, only 2 of those earned, walked 11 and struck out 4, and facing 26 batters. Now amazingly, the opponent's average is .071 against Spinoso, right-handed pitcher. So Spinoso on the hill.
Leading off for Jamestown, number 30,
Ben Brookover will start things off for the Jammers in their half of the 8th inning, up 10-3. Tyler Rourke went 2, faced 9 batters, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, walked 2, 35 pitches, 19 strikes, 16 balls. And the first pitch by Spinoso is on the outside corner, taken by Ben, and strike 1 called. 0-1. A has 1 hit tonight, 1 for 4. Just catches the strike zone at the knees. It was over the inside corner, but at Ben's knees. And is 0-2. Leadoff batter in the top of the 8th. Spinoso's pitch. Back to the ring of the home plate. Onondaga. With the right hand. It's the first effort he's made all season, and he has no errors. Nice play, Anthony. 0-2 the count. Brookover steps back in. Spinoso's 0-2 offering on its way to Ben. Popped high in the air to left field. Bavard gets underneath it and makes the catch for the first out of the Jammers' half of the 8th. That one could have made rain. That was up in the sky for a while. Finally came down. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Colin Stack. Stack having himself a night. He's 2 for 3, and he's been on base 3 times. Couple of singles. Came around to score in the second. I'm sorry, Stack is not up. It looks like Christian Deaton pinch hitting for Colin Stack. Anthony Barone trying to give everybody a little bit of time here tonight. And the first pitch from Spinoso. Balls and 1 first plate appearance for him tonight. Next pitch was by Christian. It's ball 1. High inside. Deaton pulls away from it. 2-1 now, the count to Christian Deaton. Lefty looks out at the righty on the hill, Dom Spinoso. Spinoso's 2-1 pitch. High, ball 3. Count now 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Jammers half of the 8th, and the Jammers up by a score of 10-3. 3-1 pitch on the outside corner to the left-handed hitting Christian Deaton. Strike 2. 2 on and 1 out. Jammers up 10-3. I can only say one thing to the young men. You're going to run into a pitcher where you're not going to get 10 runs in a game. That was popped up and out of play. Jimmy Standahar staying alive here in the top half of the 8th inning. Jammers got the scoring start with 3 runs in the 3rd. Bottom half of the 3rd, Jammers one of them back. Jammers moved deep down the 3rd. Comes to a conclusion. Picked up in the 2nd, and in the 3rd as well. Called out on Bauer. To him by Spinoza, misses ball on the right. Big opportunity for Ryan with the bases loaded and just 1 out. First in for the Onondaga Flames is Mark, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. The righty Dom Spinoza on the hill with a 1-1. Big cut and a miss by Ryan Markey. High heat from Dom Spinoza. Markey could not lay off. Swings and misses, the count 1-2. Anything here to keep this in going. Counts even at 2 to the right hand. And Markey. From Royers to catch his play on the pitch. Low, ball 3. Dom Spinoza got Ben Brookover to fly out to left. Then Christian Deaton walked, Connor Rule walked, Jimmy Standahar walked. It's 3-2 on Markey. Spinoza's payoff pitch. High, ball 4. He got Markey to chase a high fastball once, and he thought he'd try it again, but Markey said, fool me once, shame on you. And we'll just stop there. Moving up the 3rd, Connor Rule. Jimmy Standahar to 2nd. Ryan Markey with another RBI walk down at 1st. Nick Bernick steps up. 11-3 Jammers lead, top of the 8th. Bases still loaded with 1 out. First pitch, Nick has a cut on it, and it fouls back off the end of the bat. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting second baseman, Nick Bernick. Nick with a sacrifice fly back in the 2nd. Hit by a pitch to force in a run in the 2nd. Make that the 3rd. He was then a strikeout victim swinging in the 5th, and he walked and scored in the 7th. He's behind quickly here. Spinoza ahead of him 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Rule at 3rd, Standahar at 2nd, Markey at 1st. Bases loaded. And the 0-2 pitch from Spinoza. Rip foul down the right field line. Well out of play. And the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. Nick Bernick ending the start at 2nd base tonight. Jimmy Standahar starting in the outfield in left. Also with Conti in center tonight. 0-2 pitch. Hits. Nick Bernick. And that forces in another Jammers run to make it 12-3. Coming in from third, Connor Rule. And out of the dugout for a pitching change. So after getting one out, Dom Spinoza walked 4 and then hit Bernick with a pitch. So that'll do it for Dom Spinoza, and another pitcher will come in out of the pen for the Onondaga Flames to face John Conti, bringing in a righty. And we'll wait a moment here and see who they have brought in to face Conti. Looked like Spinoza got off to a good start, and then just, after he got Brookover to bite and pop out to left field, then just couldn't get it under control, walking 4 and hitting Bernick. And the Jammers inning continues on. Tough night for the Flames. Jammers leading 12-3, and in out of the pen, it's Jared Strait. So Jared Strait makes his way to the hill.
Number 25, Jared Strait.
So somebody that only goes a third of an inning tonight is Dom Spinoza for the Onondaga Flames. So tonight went like pitched an inning because he had given up 2 runs. Is responsible for all 3 in the as he walked 4 and hit a batter through 35 pitches, 18 strikes, 17 balls. Brings the first pitch to Conti over the outside corner. To the left. As the Jared Strait. One pitch. Cut and missed by Conti. over. Back to the second out of that inning. 0-1 pitch, high and outside. It counts even at 1. Ricky Sisto, the right-handed third baseman, won the count. Pitch front. Just missed, and the count to Webb Little. Ball 3. Ball strike. And look at a leadoff single, infield single. Look out. Deck for Flame. And Harry was nailed by the foul. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So coming back after falling behind 3-1 to Cisco, Nolan Hunnins. Jammer's error, and a runner left at second base for Onondaga. So at the end of 8, Jammers 15. Ball Network.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. I do this thing where they go around all my toys and hide in this basket. But I'm so surprised to find them. But
second trip to Onondaga to play the Flames. When Onondaga come to Jamestown. The Flames scheduled to come in on Friday the 4th, and then on we'll wrap the regular season up against the Onondaga Flames. Meanwhile, Wednesday, for right now, in the immediate future, needing to play a double, make up early in the season, as that rainout occurred on Thursday the 15th. Jammers were scheduled to go to Newark, and we got a phone call and said don't bother. So now we got a doubleheader with them tomorrow. Ben Brookover at the plate as the Jammers batted around in their half of the 8th inning, scoring 5 runs and a swing and a miss by Ben Brookover, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. 15-3 Jammers lead. And the 0-1 pitch, cut and a foul tip into the glove of Gallagher. No balls and 2 strikes. Jared Strait quickly ahead of Ben Brookover. 0-2 the count. Straight's 0-2 pitch. Outside in. The count of Ben Brookover settles back. The evening is 1 for 5. Singling and scoring back in the 4th. Unable to reach in any of his other plate appearances. And behind 1 and 2 here. The pitch from Strait. high. Tried the ball 12-6, and it stayed about 10. Not quite what you need to get that strike call. Count evens up at 2. Brooke over the leadoff batter here in the top of the 9th inning, and the pitch on its way from straight. Swing. Miss. Ball falls out of the glove of Adam Gallagher. He and Brooke over for out. Number 1, top of the 9th inning. As he was sent up and hit. Oh, and 1 the count to Christian Deaton. Nobody aboard and 1 out. Walked and there a minute ago. Next pitch over the outside corner, strike 2. And apparently Ryan Stevens found the guy out of the bed he needed here as Jared Strait seems to be around the strike zone on every strike 3 call. The second out of the inning. Step to the plate with nobody aboard, 2 out. He has been getting a couple of single and a strike to call. Job offensively tonight. Quickly. No balls. Inning 15-3. Hammers lead over the Onondaga Flames. The 0-2 pitch from Strait. Outside in the turf, and the count now 1-2. Once again, if you're unfamiliar, Onondaga Community College, an all-turf field. The only dirt out there is the pitcher's mound. 1-2 pitch, slapping it to the second baseman. And see if they 1-2 pitch. Balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody aboard the pitch. Another one popped up. This one is well out of play. Count remains even at 2 on Alex Canty. Hitter for Trey Bell. That's Laz Morales. Cut and a miss, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down in the playing half of the 9th. 15-3 Jammers lead. Pipe strike called. No balls. Hitter. Laz. That pitch misses in there. And the count is 0-2. Balls, 2 strikes. Board out. Bottom of the 9th. Onondaga 3. And a couple misses. Strike. Now, AC Vincent with a handy 3 up, 3 down inning. No run. Hammers win the second by 15-3. Jammers won last night. That will not continue. I just want to warn you all. Doors shut on this. What's your final? Hammers 15, Flames 3. Catch again tomorrow around 5 o'clock. That's when we'll hit there.